So as you may already know, TIBCO was one of the pioneers when it comes to application integration. This is what TIBCO was working in since TIBCO has been founded, running the most critical mission applications and the customer production environment, building this service bus that everybody used to ask for, allowing applications to integrate with each other through this virtualized service bus that we have in the middle, allowing the application to talk to each other without they know the location for the other application or the other service, without they need to know about the technology that has been used behind the other application. All what the customer used to know about is the location for this service or for this application in this service bus that we have in the middle. So this is what TIBCO was delivering for the last, I'll say maybe 20 or 25 years. However, going forward, we have seen a lot of changes in the customers and in the customer experience. So the way how we used to do things are becoming different. So if we look at the retail business, for example, there's a big changes going on in the retail business. So it's not anymore where a person or a family will go to a supermarket at the end of the week, where they will bring all the things that they want to have from that place. Then they collect things, they go to the queue, then they pay and they go home. We are talking about a new experience that everyone started asking for. So nowadays we've seen a lot of people are going and exploring the different websites available in the market in order to get the items that they are looking after. And they look at the item, they look at the reviews that they are available in those items, then they decide on which item they want to buy. So there's a big shift in the customer experience across different industries. So this is what we can see in the retail business. If you look at the banking sector, there's also a lot of changes going on over there. So it's not anymore where a customer will go to the branch in order to apply for a loan or in order to open a bank account or to have maybe a bank statement or maybe apply for a credit card. People, they can apply for all these things that we are talking about through different channels exposed from those different backend systems. The same thing when it goes to airlines. So it's not anymore where people will go to a travel agent in order to book a flight ticket. So people, they can do all those things through those channels that they are exposed from those back-end systems. So we are talking about the new business use cases that customers are asking for. And in order to do that, the integration has to evolve also in order to serve those changes that we are talking about. So from a technology perspective, from an integration perspective, it's not anymore where people are only focusing about service bus that we have in the middle. So TIBCO was one of the best people who we always used to do these type of things, where we replaced the spaghetti architecture that most of the customers that we have, they used to have. We allowed them to allow applications and services to talk to each other through this service bus that we have in the middle, and to provide the best quality that they are asking more. So nowadays, the requirement that we see in the market, where people, they want to break up this service bus to a multi-microservices architecture and allow those services to run independently, so they can easily scale up and scale down based on the demand that they are receiving. Allow these services to be attached to one of those APIs microservices, so we can control the service, how we expose those services, allows us to maybe apply some sort of additional security on the top of those services, allows us to monitor those services in a better way and capture all the things that are happening on those services. We also witnessed a big change in the application development as well. So it's not anymore about having a G to EE architecture approach where people are asking only for MVC architecture maybe. We have seen a lot of changes in the market. So we've seen customers are asking how they can build a cloud native application, how they can allow their application to run on containers, how they can allow their applications and services to be an API centric for all the different services and APIs in order to consume them, how we can support continuous integration and continuous development and continuous deployment, how we can provide a self-service capabilities for the people who are using our environment in order for them to apply those sort of integration where we are talking about simple integrations that we are trying to build. So there's a big changes that we see in the market for the last couple of years. And when we talk about those type of changes, a lot of customers, they would like to hear about from Gartner and Forrester's and other analyst firms, their opinion and their perspective about what we are talking about. And here we can see some of the quotes that we got from Gartner and Forrester's about their perspective and how they are looking at the hybrid integration platform, or at the pervasive integration, the word that Gartner likes to call it when it comes to hybrid integration platform. So here in this slide, we can see that Gartner in 2018, they have clearly highlighted in one of their reports that there will be no digital business without a solid underlying integration infrastructure and a pervasive integration thinking. So they are saying that they are preparing the market, that we are talking about a new type of integration platforms. The same thing also came out from Forrester's in another report, where they have highlighted that integration landscape has been changed from a point-to-point integration to a more varied landscape that includes a cloud for systems and of engagement and systems of insights. So there is a lot of changes that we are talking about. And also we have seen that Foresters, they went in another step further, where they started releasing specific report where they were talking about hybrid integration platforms. So this is one of the reports that Foresters released last year in 2019, where they were evaluating vendors and classifying integration vendors when it comes to hybrid integration capabilities and the features and the capabilities that we should have as part of such type of products. And as you can see, TIBCO is one of the leaders when it comes to Forrester's classifications and Forrester's requirements, how they are looking at the hybrid integration platforms capabilities. We also seen we also saw some information coming out from Gartner's, where they were emphasizing on the hybrid integrations platforms and the capabilities that we should have over there. So before 2 years, they clearly, Gartner said that by 2022, at least 65% of a large and global organization will have implemented a hybrid integration platforms. So that's their expectation. And actually, we started seeing that heavily in the market nowadays. Also, in another article, they said that by 2020, more than 50 of enterprises will run a mission-critical application in a container cloud-native application. And we have already seen this as well in the market with all the conversation that we have with our customers, with all the conversation that we have with our partners. Everyone is asking about cloud native application. Everyone is asking about container orchestration platforms. What's our vision when it comes to container orchestration platform? What's our offering when it comes to container orchestration platform? And how do we provide a cloud native application? How do we allow the organization to be able to scale up and scale down based on the demand that they are receiving? And by the way, this is not only limited with specific industries. This is applicable in all the industries that we see in the market. This is the conversation that we always have with all our telecom customers, with all our airlines customers, with all our banking customers, with all our people who work in the government sector as well. So this is a huge topic that everybody started looking at. And also, we have seen that in 2018, also Gartner, they've clearly highlighted by 2020, the number of applications using serverless function paths will be double the number that was available in 2017. That's why we see a lot of the big players when it comes to public cloud providers are working heavily in the fast capability and how they can provide function as a service for the services that the customers are asking for. And as for TIBCO, we have the tools and the services and the technology that will allows you to run your services on such type of infrastructure. So the point that we are talking about, the new integration platform that we are talking about, we are looking for an integration platform that will allow us to scale up and scale down very quickly. We don't know as a service provider, as a banking sector, for example, or as a telecom, or as a government, we don't know which service we will need to scale up and which service we need to scale down at any point of time. That's why we want to make sure that all our services, all our infrastructure have the right setup, have all the needs, all the infrastructure that it needs in order to support such type of scalability and reliability whenever we need it. And also the customers that we are dealing with, they are talking about the ability to innovate, the ability to adapt quickly to the new changes that we see in the market. So we don't know at what time we will need to release this service. We don't know at what time we need to update this service. And we don't know at what time we need to maybe roll out or provide a new services to our customers. That's why we need to make sure that we have the right tool that we are working on that will allow us to focus in the business logic only. As a service provider, as maybe someone who works in the government, or someone who works in the banking sector, or someone who works in the telecom or airline sector, you don't need to worry about maybe providing how to do these things from a technology perspective. You need to make sure that you have the right integration platform that will serve all the integration needs that you might have today and in the future as well. You need to make sure that you are partnering with the right integration vendor, that he keeps innovate, he keeps providing the best technology that you might be looking after in order to serve all the new services that you are willing to build as part of your infrastructure. And the question that you may have now, right now, is what's a typical hybrid integration platform? What are the capabilities that we should have, that we already have as part of typical hybrid integration platform? And in this slide, we try to summarize typical hybrid integration platform from a functionality perspective. What do we have as part of this hybrid integration platform? So as part of that, we have our core integration solution, which is business work, where we allows all the complex integration processes to be built as part of that. And that solution, the solutions that we are building, we will allow you to deploy them on any operating system that you have in mind, whether this operating system is deployed on a virtual machine, whether it's deployed in a physical machine, whether it's deployed maybe on one of those in one of those machines available as part of the public cloud providers. So we have this integration platform that has been available there for the last 20 years or more. We also have our container edition of this platform, where we allows you to deploy your services in container orchestration platforms. So that's what we are doing. And one of the nice things that TIBCO was doing for the last, I'll say, couple of years. So in TIBCO, in 2013, TIBCO, they have done huge changes as part of their integration platforms, where they were always focusing on making their runtime environment much more smaller and smaller and smaller. So, and they were preparing themselves to deploy their services in a container orchestration platform. So the runtime environment that we are talking about is really small, and that will allow them to scale up and scale down very quickly based on the demand that they are receiving. And that also will allow them to be deployed on the edge devices or on IoT devices, and will allow them to capture all the information, all the events that they are happening on those type of devices. Also, as part of our hybrid integration platform offering, we have the ability to build integration application as part of the cloud itself. So we are talking to some of the customers that we have. They want to do their integration as part of the web browser. So they have those two maybe systems available in the cloud, where business users, where maybe the business user or the business admins wants to do such type of integration. Those people, they don't want to talk to their IT people. They don't want to talk to maybe integration specialist person in order to do such type of integration. They believe that the integration that they want to do is something very simple. Maybe they only want to integrate Salesforce with Microsoft Dynamics, or their Salesforce with their HR system. So in such type of integration, we are talking about a very small type of integration where maybe system admins that they can do such type of services on as a self-service capability as part of the tool that we have. And this is where we use our cloud offering. If we are talking more about the product names that we have, so here we highlight in this slide the name of the products that we have. So if we have our TIBCO Business Works, which is the main application that we use for to do support and serve all the integration scenarios that we want to build as part of our infrastructure. We also have our container edition of that software that will allow us to deploy this type of application in any container orchestration platforms, whether we are talking about Kubernetes or Kubernetes as a service from Azure or Kubernetes as a service from Microsoft or from Google or from anyone. So that's the type of things that we were working on for the last couple of years. And our offering for our customers nowadays, we are talking about a mature offering. This is not something young or still in the beta version. This has been deployed in the customer sites before a couple of years. So we are talking about customers like T-Mobile in the US and the US Bank in the US. Some of the biggest customers that we have in the US, they are running those type of tools since 2017. And TIBCO was always innovating and adding more capabilities and adding more features to the tools that we are providing for our customers. And the thing that we have today is really stable and provide the best capability that you might be thinking of. And once you build your services, once you expose your services and you want them to be consumed, you can expose them to an API management layer. So maybe you can expose them to TIBCO Mashly API management layer, which is one of the great tools available in the market when it comes to API management capabilities. Or you can allow your internal applications to access those APIs that we are exposing as part of the hybrid integration platform that we are providing